Since 1983, FAME has helped business and education work for Maine. Contact the authority, the Finance Authority of Maine.
Welcome. This is our Afterthoughts segment where we keep our guest around for a little extended conversation that is only seen on the web. Today we have Michael Cote, Looks Gourmet Foods CEO and President. He is the winner of the Mainebiz Small Business winner for the Business Leader of the Year Award, and we're keeping him around for a little more discussion. Thanks for coming and sticking around, and congratulations again.
Pleasure. Thank you.
This is terrific. I always love this time of year, and we get to keep our guests around and talk more about what some of the leading business people are learning and talking about in the state of Maine. We had a good conversation on the air. A couple things I wanted to follow up on. Just in general, I mean, I'm always interested in getting, especially someone who's being successful and really turning a company around. What's it like to do business in Maine in general? The business climate in Maine, we hear a lot about that, and we hear lots of struggles with that. Tell me what your perspective is on that.
Well, I mean, I hear the same things you hear about Maine.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, infrastructure is always a situation that.
What do you mean by infrastructure?
Well, infrastructure meaning that, you know, the roads, conditions of roads, you know, the internet service, that sort of thing is a struggle here from time to time. Even cell phone service, for instance, is a struggle. One of the things that I like to really focus in on, however, is that, you know, while there are some down things to doing business in Maine, what are the upbeat opportunities for doing business in Maine? And, you know, the great surroundings that we have here, you know, it's scenic, it's beautiful, it's a great place to live. And there are very few of us Mainers. So that's really the way I see it, is that there's really some better opportunities to do business in Maine than there are against them.
Did that impact your decision? In the article, the profile on you, they said that you were looking to buy a business. Your broker called you. In fact, you were on your way to Canada, as I read.
I was.
And they said, hey, go check this out. And did those kind of aesthetics, that quality of place that we talk about in Maine, did that have an impact on your decision?
Yeah, that definitely had an impact, because I think, you know, I was ready for that lifestyle stage, if you will. I was 48. I was coming back to the state. My life partner, Cynthia Fisher, and I were headed up to Canada to stay a few nights and go through Maine and recreate. And you know, lo and behold, as you said, you know, I was stopped in Portland, and I immediately started new due diligence on this company. So from that perspective, yeah, I would say that a lot of what Maine has to offer is one of the reasons I'm back here. Interesting.
That's in terms of an economic development strategy for Maine, too, of being able to attract entrepreneurs to our state, and for that reason, to be able to show them, come on up here and see who we are. I always say, you want to be here anyhow. It's a great place to be, and you want to come up on vacation. Let us show you some opportunities that maybe you can see while you're here. So maybe that's a model we can build on for the state. A question I wanted to ask you was, you chose to really, in changing the business model, you chose to really focus in on natural ingredients and recycled materials, which was a bit of a change for Looks Foods. So tell me why you did that.
Well, it's a lesson I learned well when I was at Odwalla Fresh Samantha. I held a position there as Senior Vice President of Sales and Operations in Half Moon Bay, California. And one of the things that was near and dear to Odwalla's philosophy was to emulate the philosophies of the actual physical product itself onto its packaging, and to make it, you know, consumer friendly from the standpoint of environmental and that sort of thing. I took a look at, you know, what I was challenged with was basically a can, you know, and how alluring can you make a can. We started to take a look at the label that was simple, so we decided to go ahead and use a recycled board label. We decided that the ink that it was printed on, very simply, should be a biodegradable vegetable-based ink. And of course the can is recyclable, so we started to talk about this package being a very, very good package for you know, conservation and sustainability.
So that becomes a part of your marketing
started
strategy.
to market it as well.
Okay, good. And there's been a response to that? Could you see actual return on investment on that marketing piece?
Well, we can see it, and you know, we, of course, like any company, we did some testing with consumers to make sure that we weren't talking to ourselves. Consumers said that they absolutely loved the packaging and the fact that it was simple, it was homemade, it was green, and really connotes the image that we're looking for the actual physical product itself.
Talk a little bit more about on the show. You talked about You're always out selling Maine. That's part of the product you sell, really. Talk a little bit more about that. What does that mean when you're out? What do people think about Maine, and what are you selling?
Yeah, there's an aura
and you
about
go to,
Maine.
these are at trade shows, is that the kind? Because I know
Absolutely.
you go to tons
trade
of trade shows.
national sales calls.
Okay.
As I said, there's a real aura about Maine. And I love selling Maine every place I go, because selling Maine helps me sell my brand, because people are interested in anything about Maine. There's this mystique about it. When people think about Maine, they think about really great, scenery. They think about the bold coast. They think about a small state, a green state. There is so much to be had in promoting Maine, to promote Maine products. And I always say to Cynthia, my better half, that I'm kind of an adjunct of the Maine Tourism Bureau, because I travel with my Bar Harbor logo shirt. I serve Maine chowder, and inevitably everybody who sees me says, hey, what's it like to be in Maine? Or they've got a story about someone who's been in Maine, or it's on their bucket list.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you specifically chose to stick with the Bar Harbor brand, and that as a brand.
Yeah.
Okay, because of that recognition?
That was the true diamond in the rough in the portfolio. When I looked at it, the mainstream brand that they were promoting was the Atlantic brand. And the Bar Harbor was a small gift shop type brand. It was about 3% of our total business. And I took a look at that and talk about bringing people along the way. When I had to tell my employees that we were going to focus on Bar Harbor, they were wondering if I had a screw loose, because it was not the brand that had been focused on before. It was always Atlantic. And so replacing Atlantic with Bar Harbor was a bold step for us, but it's one that's worked well.
Good. We mentioned that you're 27% of the supermarket shelves in the United States. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
How big can you get? How much more expansion can you do?
Yeah, specialty food, 27% distribution is pretty darn good distribution. For those who are not really attuned to how big that market is, we're talking about just supermarkets here. Of course, we're in natural stores, we're in alternate type channels, but there are 32,000 what are termed to be supermarkets in the U.S. So being in 27% of those is great, but I have to tell you that being in 54% of that is even better. And really, that's our goal here in the next 5 years, take this business and double it, in the next 5 years.
Wow, and that's possible?
It's absolutely doable. We've grown exponentially, from where we started to where we are now, and we've really laid a nice groundwork for future growth.
Excellent. That's good to hear, especially in these times that you're actually saying, no, not only growing, but doubling.
Oh, absolutely.
How does that affect a workforce? Employees, will you be hiring more? Does it relate to
Well,
that?
we will be hiring more, but one of the things that we've also done is that we put forth product process improvements that help us, get product through our plants faster, more efficiently, but yet with the same care that we take today to ensure that we have still a premium quality product.
Do you think the specialty foods market for Maine is a kind of an untapped thing that we can do more with in Maine?
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Because the things you were just talking about.
Yeah. Well, I also donate my time, and I chair the Maine Food Producers Alliance because I do fervently believe that Maine is just a microcosm
we had them on
of
last
food
year,
opportunities.
Pastor Chuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to figure out, and you're a part of that as well, how do we market together, kind of co-brand and co-market?
Exactly. What are those synergistic opportunities to promote Maine products together?
What are your, final question, what are your kind of personal and professional goals now? You've done this, what's next for you? I understand you just said you're going to double, you want to double, but beyond that, what do you see?
Well, I think, I'll always be in the food business. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool food guy, and, beyond this company, I can't tell you where exactly I'm going to land. But one of the things that really suits me is helping people figure it out. And by that, I'll refer to what I said in the television segment. I'm a bit of a mechanic by heart. And I love to find out what's not working within a business and to fix that. And so if I can help other people in Maine do that very thing, that's, I think, a pretty good thing for me to do.
If anybody's watching this, your phone will be ringing, I hope.
That's okay.
That's great. Thanks again. Congratulations again.
Pleasure.
This is terrific.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you all.